Well, I'm in Granite Falls, Washington, and I just finished up a week in Seattle proper. I finished filming the downtown Seattle video, as well as the Lake Washington Ship Canal video, and I just needed to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life. As much as I love that, I love the great outdoors equally as much. And we're not far from the Mountain Loop Highway. I will get up there at some point. I'm sure there's snow, so that will be definitely interesting to see how far I can get. And we'll probably spend 3 or 4 days in this area. It will also give me an opportunity to finish editing those videos. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a long time, you know the last time I was up here, I had the Volkswagen Vanagon, and I was having problems with it. So this is probably a perfect opportunity to officially announce that I do have a new van, and it actually has appeared in a couple of my videos so far, but it is a 2019 Ford Transit 150 regular wheelbase medium roof. Now, I'm not going to do an inside tour yet because I'm building it out myself for the most part. I think I'm going to have the electrical done professionally. So I have the bed made and some shelving so far, but once I get the completely finished, I'll probably do a tour of the inside. So yeah, a couple days here in the area just to kind of relax and edit some videos. During my time in Granite Falls, I did try to get out and film some stuff when I needed a break from editing, and this is one of those things. I'm out here at Granite Falls. They have a fish ladder here, and we're only about 5 minutes from downtown Granite Falls. It's one of those things that sometimes there's some really awesome spots right in your own backyard. Certainly I could drive 45 minutes up to the Mountain Loop Highway and find stuff equally as cool. Good morning. It's day 2 in Granite Falls and the Mountain Loop Highway. Yesterday I didn't do a lot of filming, just mostly did some video editing. I did film the fish ladder yesterday, but today we're getting up into the Mountain Loop Highway for the first time. As I was driving up the Mountain Loop Highway, I saw some signs for a bunch of trails off Service Road 4020, which is the one I'm on now. As I was driving up it, it started to get sketchy. You probably can see some snow in the background, and we're probably at least another 2 miles from any of the trailheads. So I figured I'd walk it. We might make it to one of the trailheads, I don't know, just see how I'm feeling. I still like to do other stuff on the Mountain Loop Highway today. As you can see, we have a washout in the road, and this is what actually caused me to turn around. It may not seem like much, but I only have a 2-wheel drive van, and I didn't want to risk driving further up the road and having to back down. I did end up having to back down about 400 feet to a pullout, and that's when I started hiking. The hike up the service road was pretty uneventful. I never ended up making it to any of the trailheads before turning around. Okay, so I'm up on Martin Creek Trail, and this looks like a pretty strenuous trail right here. So I spent about an hour hiking up Service Road 4020. Of course, halfway through, my battery on my GoPro died. I think the colder weather is really starting to affect it. But I'm not gonna hike too much up this trail. I've already hiked quite a bit today, so there you go. This might be hard to tell, but it's very steep here. In fact, there's many spots in this trail it's probably 25 degrees plus, and then you add all the rocks and the roots to it, makes it a very difficult hike. So this trail runs through one of the longest and oldest running experimental forests. I didn't notice all the signs for this experimental forest on the hike up, including a sheet that gave a full description of this experimental forest, but basically it was looking at Douglas firs in the Cascade Mountain Range. They took Douglas fir seeds from as far north as Darrington, Washington, to as far south as Corvallis, Oregon, and planted them here, as well as seeds from sea level all the way up to 3,500 feet. I'm back at the Mountain Loop Highway, and this is the South Fork of the Stillaguamish River. If you look off to the right, you'll see one of the many group campgrounds along the Mountain Loop Highway. I thought I'd show you this because there's quite a bit of washout in this area. It shows just how much destruction a small river can do. I'm headed back into Granite Falls. I'm choosing not to stay out on the Mountain Loop Highway because it's about 5 to 10 degrees colder as opposed to being in Granite Falls. But as I had mentioned, there are a bunch of group campgrounds along the Mountain Loop Highway. The group campgrounds vary in size. I think the smallest one can only hold 12 people, all the way up to this one, which is the largest and can hold anywhere from 30 to 100 people. They all have vaulted toilets. It looks like this one even has some trash cans, but they can be rented out for private groups. This one has a small trail system which leads back to all the tent pads. So on my way back into Granite Falls, I stopped in the Verlot area. There's 2 campgrounds, the Verlot campground and the Turlough campground, and then there's also the Verlot service station, which has a small ranger station and a general store. All 3 facilities are closed for the season, but I figured I'd peek around the campgrounds and the service station. This is the view from one of the sites at the Verlot campground. This is Benson Creek. A lot of these sites are right up against the Mountain Loop Highway, so I bet in the summertime it gets a little noisy. The campgrounds have access to the South Fork of the Stillaguamish River. I'm back in Granite Falls, and before it gets too dark, I figured I'd give a tour of the town. Most times when I come up to the Mountain Loop Highway, I'll make a stop in Granite Falls, and I've never given a tour of the town, so here we go. This is the downtown area of Granite Falls. Granite Falls only has a couple thousand people. One of the big reasons why I stop in Granite Falls is when I'm up on the Mountain Loop Highway, it can sometimes be 2 or 3 days where I don't have a shower. And there's a laundromat in town that has a coin-operated shower. But that's the tour of Granite Falls. Good morning. I'm up in the Deer Creek area right now. I'm on Service Road 4052. My plan is to hike up to the Devil Peak Falls. I don't have high hopes I'm actually going to be able to see it. Seems like it's pretty far off the service road.
I might do a little off service road hiking, and then we'll kind of just hang out for most of the day in the Deer Creek area, see what other kind of stuff I can get into, and then I'll head back into Granite Falls. This is the stream that leads up to Devil Peaks Fall. I ended up going for it and following the stream up to the Devil Peaks Fall. Based on everything I could gather, which wasn't much, and using GPS, I think this is Devil Peaks Falls. The view of the falls were mid at best, but the views of the rest of the Cascade mountain range from the falls was totally worth the scramble up the stream bed. And of course, this footage doesn't do it justice. I'm back at the Mountain Loop Highway, and we're looking west along it. The service road is about a quarter mile down it, and so I had to walk down there. There is a small parking lot, but the road was rutted right at the entrance and there was snow on it. Now this gate might look familiar if you saw my last video, the winter hike to the Big Four Ice Caves. This is where I parked for the hike today, and then also the hike to the Big Four Ice Caves. Okay, I'm up near the Heather Lake trailhead. Doing my typical, trying to get my steps in for the day. It's already late in the day, so I don't want to do the actual Heather Lake trail. So I'm just walking down the service road. So this service road actually leads to the Mount Pilchuck State Park, but I was reading on the website, this service road is maintained by the National Forest Service, and they're doing some work on it, repairs, whatever. And this service road is actually closed right now. So Mount Pilchuck State Park has limited service as it is. Now it's even more limited. Just to get to the Mount Pilchuck State Park, it's like 5 miles of walking. But I may actually stay up here tonight. I'm not entirely sure. So there you go. That's kind of the update for the day. Okay, I'm back at the trailhead. I spent about 2 hours and 15 minutes wandering around on the service road. I think I'm going to hang out here for a little bit, and then I'm going to go a little bit further down the Mountain Loop Highway for the evening. Well, good morning. I think this is day 5 here. I'm not really sure. The days started to blur together. I did spend the night up in the Mountain Loop Highway, and this is just kind of a pull-off that I stayed at here next to the South Fork of the Stillaguamish River. The temperatures were a lot warmer. Still very cold, but a lot better than it was. But I'm going to head out from here. I'm going to make a couple stops on the way back into Granite Falls. Okay, I'm actually past Granite Falls now, and I'm actually closer to Arlington, Washington. And this is the River Meadows County Park. Seemed like it would be a cool park to check out, and turns out so far from what I've seen, a pretty cool park, so I figured I'd just throw it in, hang out for a little bit, and then call it a wrap on this video. This county park has a small campground. It's just tents only, and then they also do have a few yurts, which you'll see here in just a moment. This county park has a few short trails. Also, this park sits along the south fork of the Stillaguamish River. And so with that, I want to thank you all for watching this video of kind of the greater Granite Falls area.